Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from Talladega Super Speedway. Here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. This is their 6th race of the season, and man, oh man, oh man, things are just starting to heat up here in the W2W League. And here this afternoon, drivers going to be looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane, looking to try to cash in on a big day here this evening from the Super Speedway. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we get ready to set these drivers loose. My boy Albert Anderson, Albert coming in with that like on the stream. And starting on the pole here this evening in the number 23, it is the Grimace Shake McDonald's 23 ride. It is Ryan Haller. To his outside in that 39, that is Zach Glater. Glater will start in second with the number 22, Michael Ponder Jr. right there behind him in position number 4. Zach Perry will start in third in that 1776 Motorsports ride as the number 24, Jacob Lee, right there there behind him. Jacob going to start in position number 5. To his outside in that 3 machine, it is the Tracker Boats, the beautiful Vance Pro Shops ride of Ethan Greek, who will start in position number 6. Starting in position number 7, the HendrickCars.com Fueled Up Motorsports, number 51, it's Wyatt Mickelson. The 42 there, the beautiful Me Machine, the Ricky Bobby paint scheme here this afternoon. The 42 of Nick Jensen will start there in 8th with Matthew Wood right behind him, and the number 19, that is Jordan Fisher, rounding out our top 10. And then we see that 33, it's Clay Bellamy back in position number 11 with the 38 of Keegan Huey to his outside. Joe David in the 06 of Caleb Sick there in position number 13 and 14. Jordan Brinkley in the 3 machine of Latham Joyner round out our top 16 on the Speedway with Nick Biddy, Aiden Lucas, Grant Applegate, Jacob Heffner, Marquin Brewer, Jason Bogart, Caleb Holloman, Jaden Porter, Josh Kreider rounding out our top 25 in that beautiful Lowe's number 48 machine. Then we see William Connolly, Noah Blackwell, the number 46 of Mike Coravu. Coravu will start back there in 28th. Then we see Michael Durham Jr., Trenton Johns, Logan Perriman bringing up the rear of the field in the D-Walt number 99 ride. So 31 drivers getting ready to go to battle here this evening from Talladega Super Speedway as the pace car will make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side as these drivers will head down and through that tri-oval to the restart zone in our starting area down here at the flag stand, all the way down almost into corner number 1 here at Talladega. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here we go as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Talladega Super Speedway. The 23 Orion Hauler getting a great shove quickly here into that 76 as Zach Perry giving him a good shove down through 1 and 2. His driver starting to build up that speed, starting to build up that momentum. The outside lane looking for a little help, hoping to find that groove, trying to find that run. Unfortunately, they continue to slide farther and farther back. Zach Later now all the way back in that 6th position as the 22 of Michael Potter Jr. gets shoved to the outside lane here now in that 3rd groove, but unfortunately no help here to his back bumper, and he is gonna fall like a rock. As Ryan Hauler out in front, the inside lane just staying organized, staying tied together, and not breaking apart here in that opening lap, and it looks like they're gonna push Hauler all the way around in the grimmest shake. McDonald's number 23 of Ryan Hauler will lead lap number 1 here this evening. As it says, I'm loving it. I think he's loving it out there on the racetrack, being at the front of the field and keeping all these drivers back there at bay is my boy Ryan Carnegie. What's good, Carnegie? Carnegie coming in, showing the love of the like on the stream. Albert Anderson coming in with that thumbs up as well. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. It's absolutely free to do. It helps us out a ton. Hit that thumbs up button on the broadcast right now. Hit that like button, hit that follow, and hit that subscribe button over on the YouTube stream. Become part of the YouTube family, and if you haven't already, jump over to our Facebook and Twitch channels as well and become part of the Peacemaker family on all 3 channels, as you don't want to miss any of the action that gets posted or clipped or put up for anyone to enjoy on all 3 of our live streams. As out in front, continue to lead the way, it is now the number 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood has made the move and has gotten himself to the front of the field with the outside lane move in here in that 39 as Zach Later has worked his way back to the front of the field. He's got Latham Joyner right there with him. Latham had a great run brewing last weekend. Unfortunately, things did not end out the way he wanted them to, and for that 3 machine ended up a little deeper in the field. But here tonight, he's hoping that him and his teammates can all work together and try to get himself or one of his teammates up and into victory lane here this evening. And some great racing action already here in this one. Some absolute great battles out there on the racetrack, back and forth, and keep on battling out there in this one. As Ryan Karki says, these boys are flying. He says they are absolutely zooming out there on the speedway. Some great lap times, some great battles, and the movement continues here. Drivers not backing down. They are running inches off of each other as you do see that second group a little farther back, playing it easy. keeping it breezy, a little deeper in the field. That's never a bad choice early in these runs. You know we're going to get a stage break here. I do believe at lap number 20. So lap 20 will be stage number 1. Lap 45 will be stage number 2. And then we should get a virtual about 40 to 50 lap run there to finish off this afternoon's festivities. So a couple different stages, a couple different lengths for drivers to try to navigate, try to keep themselves in a position to stay on the lead lap, keep themselves out there, keep themselves out of trouble, and keep on rolling on the speedway. As we take a look back at this second pack, it is being led by the number 74 ride here of Jaden Porter. Porter out there in that AG's Designs number 74 ride, always looking good out there in that Sim Racing Center Toyota as he rolls back in 19th, but leading this second group out there on the speedway. He's got the Ada Trent Johns right there on his back bumper, the Fireball 25 of William Connolly right there, as well as Josh Kreider, Noah Blackwell, Grant Applegate right there, as well as the 97, that beautiful Dr. Pepper 97 ride, rolling there in the 25th, 26th position is him and Mike Corvu, door to door, a little deeper in the field. They also got Jason Bogart, the 14 ride there, as well of Mark Wynn Brewer, and the number 22 of Michael Ponder Jr. bringing up the rear of that lead pack. And then unfortunately all the way back here at the rear of the field, a two-car pack out there on the speedway. It's Logan Perriman and Michael Durham Jr. Unfortunately, they have lost the draft here with a couple groups out there on the speedway. Now, they could probably stay rolling. They could keep themselves back here and out of trouble, and I don't think they're going to go a lap down before we see the end of stage number 1 here this evening, where we'll get that caution flag. They'll get rejoined to the rear of the field and able to keep on battling here today. As my boy Carnegie says, heading out, I gotta go practice at Fairbury. Keep up the great streams. I appreciate that, Mr. Carnegie. Have some fun. Enjoy the beautiful, beautiful Fairbury Speedway, brother. That's a absolutely amazing racetrack. As Jonathan says, let's go, brother. Let's go, Jonathan. Let's get it, baby. Showing the love here in this one. Mr. Wiley dropping that like on the stream as these drivers continue to battle, continue to duke it out here this evening as great racing action, man. And man, Wiley, I keep forgetting to message you guys. I definitely need to just make sure that the times are absolutely perfect. We're gonna get a good adjustment and good decision here on really how long this race goes, in case if we run Sunday ARCAs or if we go Monday ARCAs. I'm gonna really see where we kind of shape up and where it settles in tomorrow night with our Monday night series as well, because I don't want to be overlapping or anything else on that one. The Wednesday should be good to go if we roll out at about 9:45ish or so. I'm going to talk to Jim Revis and the boys over there at DWR, make sure we get things kind of lined up with them, maybe roll a little quicker through their warm-up session, or trying to just get a little bit of the show moving a little quicker there, not hopefully having a lot of caution flags like we had last Wednesday. Because last Wednesday it rolled into about that 9:45 area with all the caution flags and everything. So just hopefully it can get cleaned up and we don't have that issue, and then we can get the other streams in there as well for you and Tyrell as well. As out in front, it's Zach Claytor. Claytor continuing to lead the way here in this one. Latham Joyner, they're in position number 2. Matthew Wood in position number 3 with Ethan Greek. Ryan Haller in that grimace shake. Number 23, Ryan still hanging out inside our top 5 for the pole sitter here this evening. Jordan Fisher and Caleb Sick right there. They're door to door. Sick on the outside lane. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of help out here with them, but now we're going to see that outside lane start to build some momentum. A lot of drivers jump up to that outside groove, and now we see these drivers starting to move around, throw some blocks as Matthew Wood will get the shove and jump out in front. So Matthew Wood back to the point here in this one. Wood out in front. Greek there in second, and Ryan Haller has worked himself back up into position number 3. Seems like this 23 ride hooked up here this afternoon. Now I know he would love to get his teammate up here and have his teammate help him potentially win this race. Is Wyatt Mickelson a little deeper in the field here. He's at the back of this lead pack and just kind of rolling back here, trying to keep himself out of trouble in that beautiful HendrickCars.com number 51 ride. As the Fueled Up Motorsports boys representing here this evening, we do see Jacob Lee and so many of these other 1776 Motorsports rides rolling out there on the racetrack, and then a lot of the newcomers that have joined the league here over the last few weeks have had some great runs, some great performances. When we look back at, Caleb Sick, we look at Latham Joyner and Jacob Hefner, a lot of these guys, Jordan Brinkley, machine, and man, they have been putting on some great shows for us and battling hard out there on the racetrack as it is a gunfight here in the front of the field. A little farther back, you see that second group still just trying to take it easy, trying to keep it breezy back here as they got about 6 or 7 of them now lined up together, just rolling out there on the racetrack as we are going to see them get a little broken up here as we see Mike Corvu at the back of that pack. A little farther back, we do see this 4-car pack as it looks like Jason Bogart and Caleb Holloman sliding back here, picking up Logan Perriman and Michael Durham Jr. Unfortunately, they could not pick up this number 22 of Michael Ponder Jr. as he's now all by himself rolling out there on the racetrack, and same with Trent Johns in that W Energy number 8 machine. Now, W Energy here, he could potentially be the first driver to go a lap down as he's about 29 seconds behind our race leaders, and he's given up a lot of time in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack. Already in 11 laps into this race, we are inching closer and closer to the end of this first stage. Now, if he's given up a second or two every single lap, it may get very close for that number 8 ride, but good news is for Trent Johns, if he does go a lap down here in this first stage, he should get the lucky dog, doesn't lose any track position, he'll be at the rear of the field anyways, and can rejoin the lead lap pack and keep on battling. So no harm, no foul out there, unless if a couple drivers go a lap down here in this first stage. Is Dalton, what's good, Dalton? Dalton says, always enjoy the stream. Jordan F for the W, he says. Jordan F for the win here this evening. Cheer on Fisher out there on the speedway, and you see Fisher trying to make some moves right here. As man, he is trying to get these drivers to the front of the field. He is trying to help out that number. We see some Zach Perry to the front of the field as he's trying to get that outside lane going, hoping to get some more help. Unfortunately, 24 kind of jumping out of line there. Will move around that 06 and slide in behind here of a couple of these drivers. Here he comes back up to the back bumper here of the 19 rider, Jordan Fisher, trying to help Jordan Fisher push his teammate to the front of the field. And now we're going to see the 16 of Matthew Wood. Looks like Wood's going to try to take that run to the outside lane. He's hoping to try to get back to the front of the field and looking for some help here. He's trying to get this big run, but down low it's Jacob Hefner, Latham Joyner, Lane Bellamy, and that number 11 of Jordan Brinkley. 4 of our newcomers here in this series up at the front of the field, running 1, 2, 3, and 4 here in this one. Already up to a hot start. At the front of the pack, and you see everyone else starting to move around, and now we see a little bit of 3 wide starting to brew as Zick getting some help here from Joe David, and that number, I think that is the 32, and Nick Biddy up there on that outside lane, now trying to get this 3 wide race into the front of the field. Man, this is some great racing action. These guys already put on a show for us here in the wheel-to-wheel racing league, as man, it's always fun watching these guys duke it out here at Talladega Super Speedway, watching these drivers run inches apart from each other at 200 miles an hour and just continuing to battle out there, man. Making moves, sliding around the racetrack, going from the high side to the bottom to the middle, just trying to figure out who they can kind of dance with and who they can try to help push and get to the front of the field. As out in front, we do see a little bit of issues, actually, a little further back. Hayden Porter going to run into some problems here down on the apron. No caution flying for that AG's Designs number 74 ride. He's going to roll back out onto the racetrack now, luckily enough, and with only about 5-6 laps left in this feature event. Our race leaders are just headed out of corner number 4. He's still down in through corner number 1 and 2 now, so he should be still on the lead lap. He is going to see Michael Ponder Jr. head around him. He does have a little bit of damage on that 74 ride as Caleb Holloman down pit road here. Oh no. Caleb Holloman taking his car down pit side. Let's take a look and see what happens as he's up into the outside fence right here. Just looks like this car all of a sudden just shoots up the track. I don't know if he got a flat tire or if something with the wheel happened there, but nonetheless, he just gets up into that outside fence now once but twice there, and unfortunately for that Dr. Pepper 1776 Motorsports ride, looks like he's going to take it, stop it there on the racetrack, and tow it right down pit road, and he will now be the first car a lap down, and it looks like Trent Johns here into position number 30 is potentially going to go a lap down, as our race leaders are not far behind him here, and they are catching him in a quick hurry here this afternoon. And still with a handful of laps left in this first stage, he could potentially go a lap down here in a quick hurry, so he'll have to keep his on the prize here and just keep his head together, and even if this field catches him, he doesn't want to see action, doesn't want to cause a big wreck here. May have to just move up or down the racetrack, allow these guys to move right on around him here as they're still trying to go 2-3 wide here, a little bit behind our race leaders, but that Three Machine is absolutely pushing the heck out of this 95 right of Jacob Hefner. Hefner continuing to lead the way. Latham right there on his back bumper. Clay Bellamy, Jordan Brinkley, our top 4, and Ryan Haller, our pole sitter, rounding out the top 5. Zach Glater, Ethan Greek, Nick Jensen, Matthew Wood, and Keegan Huey rounding out our top 10 out there on the racetrack. As Zach Perry, Wyatt Mickelson, Jacob Lee, Aiden Lucas, Nick Biddy, Caleb Sick, and Joe David, all unfortunately on the inside of a points position here for this first stage. Looking in, Jordan Fisher, he's right there as well, potentially going to lose that draft. He's trying to stick with these guys and hoping to kind of reel them back in and join this fight once again. Looks like he's going to get that run that he needed to get right back to the rear bumper here of that 34. In that 32 ride is still some more movement back here and some big runs brewing for a lot of these drivers trying to get to the front of the field here before the end of this stage. As there goes that 8 ride, unfortunately for Trent Johns, does go a lap down, but he's the only driver a lap down out there on the racetrack. Michael Ponder Jr. and Michael are in Jaden Porter running together now, using that draft, at least 2 of them together, running a little bit better lap times here, and luckily enough, they should be able to stay on the lead lap here, and that's a big break for that 8 ride, as he should get the wave around the free pass here in just a couple more laps, as lap 18 already onto the board here in this one. So already 18 laps down, and we inch closer and closer to the end of stage number 1. Stage number 1 about to come to a close here in just a couple more laps, where we will hand out some bonus points to these drivers. They'll be able to get those points and use them towards racing their way into the playoffs, or potentially, picking up this race win, or the stage win, and earning those bonus points as well that carry through the playoffs. Those are the big ones that you really want to get, especially if you know you're going to probably race your way in on points or have a win already and have raced your way into the playoffs. Now those bonus points are going to mean so much to help try to continue to transfer your way through into our championship round here in the wheel-to-wheel racing leagues. The 95 ride continues to lead the way. Lap 19 up and onto the board here in this one with Latham Joyner, Jordan Brinkley right there behind me. You see that outside lane starting to brew here as Clay Bellamy unfortunately fell back a little bit, but now getting some help in that outside lane, really starting to move. As you do see Zach Perry, Zach Glater all right there. You have the number 3 there of Ethan Greek, Jordan Fisher pushing again on that outside lane. And finally, we see Wyatt Mickelson and his teammate Ryan Haller in that Grimace Shake. McDonald's, number 23, find each other out there on the racetrack. Now they're looking to try to navigate their way up towards the front of the field, as right now, unfortunately for both of them, they're stuck just a little bit deeper in the field and just on the outside of a points position here in this stage. As this is the final lap of stage number 1 here this evening. At the completion of lap number 20, we'll see that caution flag fly, and we will see these drivers all get lined back up, stacked back up, and ready to duke it out here as drivers looking to still try to find their way to the front of the field. The outside lane, unfortunately, making too many moves right there. Looks like they're going to slide back a little bit more as the 24 of Jacob Lee trying to push his teammate in that 76 to the front of the field. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of help. They're still broken up there on the outside lane, and not a whole lot of push and help here for them, but they're trying to get everything they can as Zach Glater trying to find his way around that 11 ride of Jordan Brinkley. But out in front and getting a good shove still from that 95, it's Jacob Hefner. Hefner will win stage number 1 here this evening. There's that caution flag as Hefner picks up the first stage win here this evening, getting a great shove there from that 3 ride of Latham Joyner. Zach Glater into position number 4 with the 3 machine of Ethan Greek, Zach Perry, Jacob Lee, Matthew Wood, Jordan Brinkley falling all the way back to 8th there with Jordan Fisher and Nick Jensen all getting some stage points here this evening. We did see that 57 right off the pace there as well, and unfortunately for Grant Applegate, just as the stage was coming to a close, this 57 ride went a lap down, and now it's a good break for him as he will get the lucky dunk. He will get that free pass back onto the lead lap, but back there, deeper behind him, this 8 ride. Unfortunate break here for Trent Johns, as that is going to keep him a lap down out there on the racetrack. Now he's just got to hope that no one else goes a lap down before the next stage, or we see another quick caution flag where it's going to allow him to come back down pit side and get that lucky dog and get himself back into the action here this evening as well. And for Caleb Holloman, he is back out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, still has some pretty good right front damage on that 97 ride, in multiple laps down here this evening. So heartbreaker there for the 97 machine. Is out in front in winning stage number 1. It's the all-black number 95 of Jacob Hefner. Hefner able to get that first stage win of the year for the 95 machine. Latham Joyner right there pushing behind him will earn 9 points there for that beautiful second place run in stage number 1. Zach Claytor will earn himself another 8. Ethan Greek will earn himself 7, as we see Zach Perry, Matthew Wood, Jacob Lee, Jordan Brinkley, Jordan Fisher, and Nick Jensen all getting some stage points here this evening. Now, obviously, only 1 stage point going to this 42 ride of Nick Jensen, but every single point is going to count when it comes to our playoffs, when it comes to trying to race your way into our playoffs here. Every single point could be the difference maker between making it in to the playoffs, or unfortunately just being another driver out there on the racetrack battling and competing for race wins and not being a part of that championship hunt. As we do see that 57 ride of Grant Applegate, he is staying out. He will get that lucky dog, the free passes. You do see some pretty good right front damage there on that Red Bull ride. A little bit of rear end damage as well. Looks like he's gotten up and into the outside fence, and unfortunately there for Applegate, going a lap down, as now we will see Trent Johns taking potentially the wave around right there. Now, I don't think Trent realizes that he was not the first car 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, because Applegate had just went a lap down out there on the Speedway, but nonetheless, looks like Trent is going to take the wave around here, and maybe they gave the lucky dog to the wrong car. I'm not sure, but it looks like the 8 ride is going to keep on putting the throttle down and roll back here to the lead lap here. So good break there for Trent. Now we'll have to wait and see if Applegate will take the wave around here and just take his way back onto the lead lap that way. Now hopefully has the fuel to make it to the next stage. Hopefully has, not too much damage here on that 57 right where it's going to hinder him and pull him back and lose that draft again here in this one, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to battle here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers ready to duke it out again here this evening. Man, this has already been one heck of a show. These guys have already put on one hell of a race for us, and we're only 20 laps of green flag racing in, but it's all about that big question. When does the big one happen? When do we see the big wreck here at Talladega Superspeedway that we're all so used to seeing? We've seen it time and time again where just multiple drivers all of a sudden have a couple cars turned around in front of them. There's nowhere to go, and they all just pile in there, and you can see 10, 15, 20 cars get tore up in a heartbeat out there on the racetrack, and that is definitely not a spot you want to be here this evening, as the 57 right Applegate looks like he is going to potentially come down pit road right here, and if he does come down pit side, that is going to give away his wave around opportunity. So there it is. He is going to head down pit road, and unfortunately he will stay as our first driver 1 lap down. Caleb Holloman will get that free pass. He will go around the pace car here and race his way back at least another lap in this race, as he's about, I want to say about 4 or 5 laps down, and this could get him at least another lap back, and with a bunch of caution flags could potentially still race his way back into the action here this evening. As there he goes around our official iRacing pace car, and for Jacob Hefner, he will get ready for this restart. Latham Joyner now to his outside with Zach Claytor, Zach Perry, Jordan Fisher, Jordan Brinkley, Keegan Huey, Jacob Lee, Joe David, and Caleb Sick rounding out our top 10 out there in that 06 machine. Ethan Greek, Nick Jensen, Aiden Lucas, and Nick Biddy our top 14, with the 33 ride of Clay Bellamy rounding out our top 15. Pyramid, Matthew Wood, Jason Bogart, Wyatt Mickelson back in 20th with Marquin Brewer down to his inside. Then we see the 00 machine. That was Michael Durham Jr., Josh Kreider in that beautiful Lowe's number 48 to his outside with Michael Ponder Jr., the 18 and Noah Blackwell, William Connolly, Jaden Porter, Ryan Haller back in 27th. A slow pit stop right there for that Xfinity McDonald's Grimace Shake number 23 machine, as he went from just outside the top 10 to all of a sudden back in 27th on the racetrack. Trent Johns there in 28th, back on the lead lap there for the 8 ride. Mike Coravu, he's back in 29th, with Grant Applegate and Caleb Holloman rounding out our top 31 here this evening, as 31 drivers took that green flag. 31 drivers still competing, as stage number 2 about to get underway. Stage number 2 about to happen here, and drivers getting ready to go back to battles. My boy Caleb Ramsey, what's good, Caleb? Caleb coming in, showing the love. What's good, Mr. Ramsey? Caleb coming in says, let's go, baby, let's go, Caleb. Is Caleb also dropping that like on the stream over there on Facebook? I appreciate that, brother, showing the love with the thumbs up here this evening, as we'll get these drivers ready to go back to green flag racing, ready to duke it out here once again this evening, as out in front, Jacob Hefner continues to lead the way. Once this 95 ride got that clean air, got out in front, man, he has been a car on a mission here this evening, just looking to try to put himself up and into victory lane. Now with a great restart right there, rolling down through that Geico restart zone, back onto the throttle. The outside lane did not fire off as nicely, and now we see him kind of moving around here. The 3 wide jumps down to the inside, in behind the 11 of Jordan Brinkley. Zach Perry jumps down to the bottom as well here, right in front of his teammate there of Jacob Lee. As you do see the 19 ride, unfortunately here for Jordan Fisher, no help really to his back bumper, so now he'll dive down to the inside. Feeling sick, unfortunately. Now he's got 1 car with him here, hoping for a couple more, as now here comes that 33 of Clay Bellamy, the number 34 of Aiden Lucas, trying to get that outside lane brewing once again here this afternoon. But as we get up to speed, that inside lane just has so many cars tied together, and now we're going to start to see them move around. Jacob Lee, he's thinking about going to the outside, thinking about going to the inside. Unfortunately, that decision is going to be made for him here, and now he's going to shove into the middle, and they're going to go 3 wide down and out of the tri-oval here, as the outside lane looking for a big run, looking to try to clear that 24 ride. And unfortunately, as he kind of guessed a little bit right there, wasn't sure if they were going to jump to the outside, him and his teammate Zach Perry, and unfortunately left that bottom lane open. He poked his nose right down low and into it. Unfortunately, the 24 could not get back in line with the inside groove, and now falling like a rock through the field. This is now back into the 16th position, as Jason Bogart out at his back bumper, now trying to help him and give him a little shove and a little push here down the back straightaway to 3 and out of 4. As Aiden Lucas, unfortunately, just traveled off the racetrack right there, getting a big shove out of that number 16 of Matthew Wood. And unfortunately for Aiden, just shoved him off the racetrack here, and now all of a sudden he is sliding farther and farther back behind us. All of a sudden he is now back into about the 25th spot. So going from just outside the top 10 to all of a sudden outside the top 25 on the racetrack, and continuing to slide farther and farther back, is no one going to come in behind him and help him out. He's going to have to get to the rear of the field right here, get rolling back in 29th, and see if he can navigate his way back to the front of the field. As Applegate right there, Applegate, the first driver, 1 lap down. He is hoping to see another caution flag, one that he is not a part of, and trying to get this 57 back onto the lead lap here this evening, as the crew went to work off that car, repaired. He's back into one good racing piece, and now just trying to get that track position back and seeing if he can battle again this evening for what could be a miraculous comeback and a big win for that Red Bull number 57 ride. As Hefner continues to lead the way, Jacob out in front in that 95 ride, continuing to show these drivers that he is the car to beat. Looks like he has got a hot rod here this evening, a rocket ship out there on the racetrack. Zach Laker right on his back bumper with that HGO number 11 ride. That is Jordan Brinkley. Brinkley rolling there in third, and then we see the number 76 of Zach Perry, the 06 of Caleb Sick there in position number 4, as they battle here for that third spot on the racetrack. The outside lane trying to get up there, trying to battle for this race lead, as they pair of 3s right there, nose to tail. Ethan Greek and Latham Joyner there, right there, trying to get that outside lane rolling here, as they Bellamy, the 6 of Joe David, the 24 ride of Jacob Lee, and that beautiful 00 Michael Durham Jr. all right there in that fight. As now you do see Matthew Wood trying to work his way into that middle groove right there. Almost a little contact between him and that 00, as here comes that 51 right away. Mickelson looking to try to race his way back up to the front of the field, as we do see the caution flag fly. Caution flag will come out here in this one. So the second caution flag of the day here on lap number 29, and it looks like Jason Bogart gonna run into some problems here in that Flex Seal number 17 machine, as unfortunately, let's take a look back and see how this one got started. How this happened is he's got the 23 down to his inside. Looks like they're actually about 4 wide right here, and unfortunately, it just does not work out. Now, I'm not sure if he comes down or if the 23 just shoves him in and gets him a little loose there on corner entry. Nonetheless, it's going to get him bent out of shape, and then he tries to come down here, or the 23, they just run out of room right there, being 4 wide, and unfortunately for Jason Bogart, he gets turned around over to go for Mike Koravu in that 22Q.org machine, the 25 of Connolly. He's going to end up getting some pretty good damage out of this, as well as he slides up the track, hard contact into the outside fence there for Jason Bogart. Heavy damage for the 46, and you do see that 25 ride going for a spin as Ryan Haller down low, just able to squeeze down and around it here as everyone else wrecking back there, and unfortunately for 3 drivers, some pretty solid damage out there on the speedway. Bogart, Koravu, and that number 25 of Connolly all getting some pretty serious damage out of this one. And for Connolly, he just got really nothing he could do, nowhere for him to go. Let's jump on board here with this 25 ride and see what happens. All of a sudden, here comes that 17 down across his nose, back at the track, into him. He's sideways, trying to keep it out of the wall, trying to keep this car clean, and he's going to get some contact. And unfortunately, some pretty good damage there on that 25, but able to get it back into gear, keep on rolling, keeps it on the lead lap, and he'll get back to the pack, looking to try to get that thing rebounded and back to the front here. Same with Jason Bogart, Koravu, rolling back out on the racetrack. Still some pretty heavy front end damage there for the 46. Bogart looks like he's gotten the quick repair and got this car fixed back up and rolling back out there on the racetrack. And now a big break here for the 57 of Grant Applegate. Is Applegate in that lucky duck position? The free pass spot out there on the speedway is going to go to that 57 machine, and he will now officially get back onto the lead lap. So great break right there for him, as we did see a handful of drivers head down pit road. Michael Ponder Jr., Noah Blackwell, Josh Kreiner coming down pit road, as you see Blackwell pointing the wrong direction, trying to get into his Pad Dragon pit stall here this evening. As you see Connolly, Trent Johns down there as well, getting some work done to his car. The 97 ride, once again, Caleb Holloman gonna get some fuel and tires and maybe some damage repair done to the Dr. Pepper machine here this evening, as he's still a few laps down and scored back in 31st. Definitely not the spot that he wants to be here this evening. Is Jacob Hafner continuing to lead the way here this evening. That number 95 ride out in front with Jordan Brinkley and Zach Claytor right there on his back bumper, as we'll get ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here once again in this one. Is Marcus Summerall. What's good, Marcus? Marcus coming in, dropping that like on the stream over there on Facebook. How are you, Marcus? How you doing this evening? Coming in, showing the love here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're just tuning in, whether you're watching over on Facebook or watching over on YouTube or Twitch, make sure you guys hit that like button, jump into the comment section, let us know who you want to see up and in victory lane, and make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family today, and make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. As we're going to get a quick break in here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll be right back here after our intro song here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, Peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel-to-wheel racing, the grind stay crazy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemakers lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags, wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel-to-wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. Out in front, leading this race, it is that 95 ride of Jacob Hefner. Hefner out in front, showing these drivers that he is the car to beat here this evening. Is down through the Geico restart zone. We go back to battle here at Talladega as the 95 ride back onto the lead, onto the loud pedal. They're wrecking back there behind them. Look out, the 14 ride turned around. Ryan Haller collected in there, and a lot of other drivers tied up and tore up here. Connolly tied up in another one, and a few more drivers as the caution flag will be displayed here once again. So just like that, cautions breeding cautions here at Talladega Super Speedway. Let's play this one back and take a look as contact here for Mark Quinn Brewer as he's all over the back bumper here of the 42 ride. That is the 42 machine of Nick Jensen here. Now they're quite far forward here in the field, and unfortunately as he gets a good run, all of a sudden gets checked up right here. As he gets into the back end of the 42, he gets checked up trying to slow down. The 00 doesn't see that. Everyone else back there behind him doesn't see it. And then they just kind of stack up, and then they all run into each other, and all that speed and all that momentum. Unfortunately, the accordion effect, and around goes that number 34 up into the outside fence. The 25 ride gets shot down to the bottom of the racetrack. He comes back up over the nose of the 48 ride of Mr. Kreider, and that's where we see the 14 ride go around over the 00 ride. We see a little contact there for Noah Blackwell, as well as a few more drivers just trying to squeeze through there and keep themselves out of trouble. As quite a bit of contact there, quite a bit of tore up race cars. And look at Mike Corvu down low, unfortunately, just trying to get down and around and out of it there. Ends up getting a big piece of it. And that 57 of Grant Applegate also getting some contact into that as well. So a bunch of tore up race cars here again at Talladega Super Speedway. As take another look at it here and see that contact. And right out of the get-go, man, there's really just nothing that they can do as you watch this blue car, the car on the outside lane in behind the beautiful number 42, that Ricky Bobby inspired car, and then all of a sudden they get stacked up, avoiding effect, all this contact and hitting and bumping and grinding. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys getting tore up right there. Nowhere to go for the 57, nowhere to go there for a couple of these cats. You look at that number 51 ride. Unfortunate break here for Wyatt Mickelson. Wyatt, nowhere for him to go here. He's kind of just stuck right in the middle of it. Doesn't see the 14 ride slowing down, and unfortunately him and the 34 and Lucas getting quite a bit of damage. You see the 48 ride also getting tore up in that one as well. Tough break there for Josh Kreider as he's going to get some contact here as well. Let's see if we can jump on board with Kreider and see what he can see here from the cockpit of that 48 ride. Now all of a sudden, things just start breaking down in front of him. Nothing he could do except for just hang on and hope for the best, and unfortunately ends it up with a lot of damage right there. End up with quite a bit of contact, and Unfortunately, a tore-up race car as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out again here this evening, as we did see Aiden Lucas head down pit road in his number 34. We saw Josh Kreider, Noah Blackwell, Grant Applegate back down pit road, Connolly, Coravu, Durham Jr., they're all down pit side getting their cars repaired. That 14 ride of Marquin Brewer already back out there onto the racetrack. Looks like he's used that quick repair, gotten that Exalta ride fixed back up and rolling here once again as, man, some crazy contact. A lot of tore-up race cars, and unfortunately, a lot of these guys, man, just nowhere to go out there on the racetrack, and that's usually how these races go. You just get tore up in other people's issues, other people's accidents out there on the racetrack. As Reese Kelva, what's good? Texas Kelva coming in, showing the love over there on YouTube, says, I missed the race. It was lap 17 when I got home. Mother's Day races are not recommended. Yeah, definitely a tough one, definitely a tough one. I would have been having dinner with my mother here tonight, but unfortunately, we're up here in the booth, brother. We don't miss out on these things. I do got to make a post, though, and at least wish her happy Mother's Day. I guess I haven't done that yet. I should probably do that for my poor old mother, as lovely lady, amazing lady, and definitely want to show her the love today on Mother's Day. And hopefully everyone is showing the love to their mothers here this afternoon, as some absolutely amazing racing, some great action out here, and we'll see these guys continue to battle, continue to duke it out here lap after lap after lap here at Talladega Super Speedway, as we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in just a few more moments.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker, keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in this one. As out in front, it is that 95 ride of Jacob Hafner looking for another big restart. Here this evening is down through the Geico restart zone. We go back to battle here at Talladega Super Speedway. As quickly, the 95 ride up and through the gears here, trying to get that car rolling, hoping that the 39 ride sticks right there to his back bumper as they build up that speed down through corner number 1 and 2 out there on the speedway. Some wicked racing action, a lot of great battles, and each and every one of these drivers continue to look to try to race their way to the front of the field here this afternoon at Talladega. Man, no better place to be on a Sunday than here with the boys at Talladega Super Speedway, man. Always such a fun track to be at, and these guys making it that much funner here this evening as each and every one of them looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. As out in front, Hefner, he's been leading this race for quite a little while now. This 95 ride has been hooked up once he got that fresh air, that clean air to his nose. He has not looked back and continues to pull farther and farther away from everybody else. As my boy Evan Stewart coming in says, scheduling's up me. I did not look at the holidays when scheduling. Sorry guys, that's why I'm not racing tonight. Evan, brother, it's a heartbreaker. It sucks, it's tough, but hey, you know what? It happens, my boy. It happens, and hey, we still appreciate everything you do and everything that the league does, and whether or not we got a race on a holiday or not, it's still bothering to me, that's for certain. I mean, obviously for some of the drivers, definitely sucks scheduling-wise, trying to get these races in, trying to be there for some of these races, especially in the middle of these holidays and everything else, makes it a little bit tougher, but nonetheless, we'll see them hopefully next week and back into the action and everything else as we continue to battle here. Nonetheless, you do see Latham Joyner, Latham jumping up to the outside lane here, looking to try to battle that 95 ride for the race lead, but Hefner able to hang on to it as we inch closer and closer to the end of stage number 1, or stage number 2 here. Stage number 2 about to come to a close in a quick hurry with Hefner, Zach Claytor, Caleb Sick, our top 3 out there on the speedway, but I do believe we are going to see that caution flag come back out. So cautions, continuing to breed cautions here in this one. Actually, nope. Yep, there it is. Caution flag back out on the speedway here. A few more drivers tied up, tore up out there on the racetrack as we'll take a look back and see what happened. As it looked like Jordan Fisher, the 19 ride, unfortunately, he's going to get tied up here in this one. Contact there as him and the 6 get tied together right here. You see Joe David looking down and working to the back bumper of this 19 ride. Then 19 kind of gets log jammed right there, goes up a little bit. The 6 tries to poke his nose into the middle, gets bounced around a little bit, ends up hooking that 1776 Motorsports 24 ride around, and Jacob Lee nowhere for him to go. And unfortunately, they come back up the track, hard contact into that 19 ride. They're still spinning. You see Josh Kreider trying to squeeze his way up and through there. Looks like he's going to run out of room, and for the 19 ride, he's going to get absolutely destroyed right there as the 74 of Jaden Porter, nowhere to go, slams right into the side of him. He comes back up the track, right into the lap of that 22 of Michael Ponder Jr., and into the outside fence here. Heavy contact, heavy damage there for the 19 ride, and for a lot of these drivers getting tore up again here this afternoon as some craziness unfolding here at Talladega Super Speedways. You're going to see that 6 ride here just unfortunately poke his nose down in through the middle, and end up getting some pretty good contact into a lot of these drivers. And watch this 48 ride, nowhere for him to go. But look at that hit right there. That's a big hit, heavy hit there into that driver's side door for the 19 ride. And then you look back, you see Jaden Porter with heavy front end damage. Now you take a look at the 6 and the 24. They get tore up. The 48 right at Josh Kreider here. He's looking to get real skinny in a quick hurry in that outside lane as they're wrecking. He looks to go to the outside. Unfortunately, they still get parked right there in front. 46 ends up getting a little damage right there as well, bouncing it off the fence, and that puts us back under the caution flag here this evening. So cautions continuing to breed cautions. Now we start to see more and more drivers head down pit road and look to get repairs, look to try to get their cars fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack. As Noah Blackwell's down there, we see a couple of these other drivers, they're still down there getting their cars repaired and trying to get back into the fight here this afternoon. Ponder Jr., Blackwell, Wyatt Mickelson down pit side. We see Nick Jensen, Kreider, Aiden Lucas, all these cats coming down pit road. Just getting lots of repairs done, trying to get these cars fixed up and back into one piece and back into racing condition here this evening. But out in front, Jacob Hefner continuing to lead the way here in this one as Chris Muse says, look at that tire falling off. Laugh out loud. He says, yeah, these tires, unfortunately, they can go for a wild ride out there in the simulator and sometimes just get too much damage, too tore up, and unfortunately, cars get a lot of contact here, man. There's a lot of tore up sheet metal here this evening, but out in front, this 95 ride of Jacob Hefner, once he got to the front of the field, he has not looked back one little bit and just continues to keep on rolling here. Picture perfect laps out of this 95 ride. Great restarts and just keeping all these drivers back there at bay, man. He has been on an absolute roll here this evening, and he's quite on his way to potentially winning stage number 2 here this evening, as well as stage number 2 will come at the completion of lap number 45. So we will probably get a couple laps of racing action, and then we'll see that we'll see this one kind of go back under caution for that stage break. So tough way to end the stage. Obviously seeing a lot of these yellow flags, but hopefully we can get a good couple hard green flag laps in where that can get everyone kind of bunched back together, everyone battling together and trying to race their way up into the front of the field here in this one, as you never want to see these end under caution. But the way this is going, it may end under caution here in this stage. As Black Phoenix, what's good, Black Phoenix? My boy, Black Phoenix. Well, 843 coming in, dropping that like over on the stream, as well as Chris Muse and Jeff Brown also coming in with the likes here this evening, coming in showing the love here this afternoon. Is some wild racing action, a lot of back and forth, a lot of hard nose battling here this evening, and for each and every one of these drivers looking to just put themselves up and into victory lane here this afternoon. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a wild one all the way down to the checkered flag. And it's Talladega Super Speedway, man. These races are always so crazy. There's always so much action and things that can happen, things that can go wrong in a heartbeat. You can have a very good day turn into a bad day in a quick hurry out there on the speedway, and sometimes, a lot of times, no fault of your own. And we've seen that already for a few of these drivers here this evening, as we'll get ready to go back to battle. The lights are once again off the official iRacing pace car. Now we will get the green flag here on lap number 43. So lap 43 will get started. It looks like we'll get a couple lap shootout here to the end of this stage. And now for these drivers, they know that they want to have themselves inside the top 10 to try to pick up some more of these stage points, at least help their day out that much more here this afternoon. As if you can get a good stage points, you can try to get a good run going, potentially could put you into decent position, even if you have a wreck out there on the racetrack that you get tied into late in the race. You get tore up and taken out of the race. At least if you get those 10 or 15 extra points into your back pocket, they could help potentially put you into a mediocre position here to finish off the day. So could take a bad day and at least turn it into a mediocre day, or can take a good day and potentially make it even better here with all those extra stage points. So we'll get ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out again here in this one. Drivers ready to rock and roll. Drivers trying to hopefully keep themselves out of trouble and out of the carnage here this evening, as you just never know what's lurking. And we've seen back-to-back caution flags out there on the speedway, and a lot of tore-up race cars, a lot of tore-up sheet metal here this evening, and that may continue before the end of this stage. So we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out and how these drivers can finish off this feature event. As here we go, back to green flag racing, as the number 95 sees the green flag fly, and we are back to battle here in this one, as the 95 ride blinking a little bit right there. That's a scary sight for all these drivers, as Jacob Heffner continues to lead the way. Jumped up to that outside lane for a little bit, now sees that inside lane coming here with a big head of steam. He's just trying to keep himself and all these drivers back there at bay, but man, it's going to be tough sledding here to finish out this stage. Now kind of gets shoved up the racetrack, now trying to get to the outside of that number 39. He's just going to push Glater to that third lane, and unfortunately the 3 ride not going to go with Glater. He's going to stay right there on the back bumper of Jacob Heffner, as Heffner and Sick door to door here, but it looks like that inside lane has that momentum, has the run, and they are going to take that race lead away from the 95 ride. So Ethan Greek pushing that 06 machine to the front of the field, and now looking to run away with it is Keegan Huey. Clay Bellamy down on the inside lane. You do see Ryan Haller right there as well, our pole sitter in that beautiful Grimace shake. Number 23, he's raced his way back into this battle up towards the front of the field. He's ready to rock and roll and put himself potentially into a good position here this evening, potentially trying to pick up the dub himself, as an awesome racing action here at Talladega. Look out, the 06 turnaround. Here they go, the big one down the back straightaway. Everyone shooting down to the inside, everyone trying to keep themselves out of trouble here, as the 06 of Caleb Sick sideways there on the racetrack. Everyone else trying to avoid it, and the caution flag will fly here once again from Talladega Super Speedway. So more contact, more action out there on the racetrack, and unfortunately a bunch more tore up race cars. So let's take a look back and see how this party got started, as it was at the front of the field. And man, this is a bit of a crazy one out here, as the 06 leading this race. He's got the race lead. He's trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay, and unfortunately for the 3, gets a little bit squirrely right here, pushing him, and all of a sudden just tags him the wrong way, gets him up and into the outside fence, and that's where everyone else, all of a sudden people trying to get checked up, trying to slow down for a couple other drivers. Hard contact into the outside fence is the 3 car, I do believe, is going to be the 03. They're going to be that first car to go around right here. In behind our race leader, as the 06 and the 03 both going to run into some problems here. It's watch this 3 machine right there. Contact is, he's getting checked up. Other drivers in there. See Applegate getting some pretty hard contact. The 39 rider Claytor, he gets tagged. He almost goes for a wild ride there himself. Man, that's another big wreck, another timely caution flag, and that will bring us to the close of stage number 2 here. So stage number 2 going to end that way, and it looks like the 3 rider Ethan Greek, I mean, he was a part of that caution flag, got that kind of started, and here we go as my boy Chris Muse. Muse, what in the world? Mr. Muse coming in over there on Twitch, coming in with that prime subby, subscribing again for the 9th month over there on the Twitch live stream, coming in, showing the big love, says let's fucking go, let's go baby. Chris coming in with the sub, the 9 months of being a subscriber with the let's go baby, the peacemaker fist pump up there, and the hearts in the chat as well. I appreciate that, brother. Showing the love here in this one. Is ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free over on our Twitch account right now. Head over to Peacemaker Gaming over on Twitch and drop that Prime sub over there on the live stream here today, and become even more of a part of the Peacemaker family here this evening, as we'll get everyone stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to battle here in our final stage of the day. Our final stage already here. It seems like it's taken a little while. Seems like it was a bit of a crazy one here, trying to get everything lined up and everyone kind of tied together and ready to rock and roll out there on the racetrack. But stage 2 finally coming to a close, and it is this 3 machine who will pick up that stage win. So a big stage win there for the 3 machine, as Ethan Greek kind of got the party started there. Big pushes, big shoves, but got himself into that position to take advantage of it and put himself into this stage win this afternoon, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here again this afternoon, as great racing action here this evening, man. I guess it's already 9 o'clock. It's already 9 o'clock here this afternoon, man. This is crazy. The night is going forward. The race is going forward, and we inch closer and closer to handing out the checkered flag here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are enjoying the racing action, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As Logan Taylor says, let's go Greek Freak. Cheering on Ethan Greek out there, is that Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats AG's Designs number 3 machine at the front of the field, leading the way, winning stage number 2 here this afternoon. Going to earn himself 10 points towards the initial standings, and also earn that 1 bonus point for our playoffs here today, as we'll get them all ready to play, ready to go back to battle and duking it out here in this one. As each and every one of these cats, man, they are tired of seeing these yellows. They want to see some good green flag laps out there on the racetrack, and for some of these other drivers using that pit strategy, Nick Jensen now going to be our race leader. Joe David, Mike Corvu also up at the front of the field now in position number 2 and 3. Nick Biddy back there in 4th, with Josh Kreider up inside the top 5. Michael Durham Jr., Jaden Porter, Ryan Haller, Matthew Wood, and William Connolly are top 10 out there on the racetrack. Is Michael Ponder Jr., Logan Perriman, Trent Johns, Wyatt Mickelson, Keegan Huey, Aiden Lucas, Noah Blackwell, Caleb Sick in that 06 back in 18th, with Mark Quinn Brewer and Clay Bellamy rounding out our top 20 here this evening. So, man, already some wild action, some wild racing, and now seeing these drivers kind of all lined back up and ready to go back to battle again here this evening. It's going to get crazy, Chad. There's a lot of fast cats that are deeper in the field, a lot of fast drivers that are going to have to try to navigate their way back up through all the actions. We did see that 3 right Ethan Greek have to make that caution flag pit stop there. He was able to win that stage and now takes the Tracker Boats right down pit road. And for himself, he's now scored back in the... he scored in here. He scored all the way back in position number 26 here, getting ready for this restart. So definitely not the spot that he wants to be, as he definitely liked being at the front of the field. As we get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle as Julie Carly says, let's go Jason Bogart. Cheering on Bogart here this evening, as Jason a little deeper in the field here, already got tied up in one of those earlier incidences, just trying to keep this car out of trouble, keeping it rolling out there on the racetrack. And for the number 17 ride, he rolls right now back in 28th. He'll look to try to keep on edging his way towards the front of the field as Joe David in the 42 and Nick Jensen get ready for a big restart here at Talladega Super Speedway. And in this restart, we are going to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here at Talladega Super Speedway. caution flag back out on the racetrack. Yellow flag back out on the speedway here as you see that 18 ride, the bad Dragon Machine of Noah Blackwell getting tied up, tore up, and unfortunately turned around out there on the racetrack, and that will put us back under the yellow flag here as it looks like him and Latham Joyner going to make some contact here. So we'll take a look back at it, see what happens, and see how this caution flag got started here this evening as the number 3 and the 18, they're hooked up here. A big run as the Blackwell car pushing the 3 machine. He's getting him a little squirrely. He gets him a big shove right there. And unfortunately, that's where the action gets started. Just a couple bumps right here, right there. Unfortunately, gets him loose. He shoots down the racetrack, and the 18 rides still right on his bumper. Unfortunately, as the 3 comes back up, they make more contact, pushes them both up and into the outside fence. Heavy contact there for the 18. Heavy damage for the number 03 machine as Joyner just nowhere to go right there. And then him and the 18 going to get tied together again, and around goes that 18 ride. Now, luckily enough, everyone else able to avoid this bad Dragon 18 machine and keep themselves out of more trouble. But we did see Latham Joyner right here. He's going to end up getting ran over as the 16 rider Matthew Wood nowhere to go right there, and unfortunately just guessing wrong on where that elite number 3 machine is going to go on the racetrack, and unfortunately drives right into the back end there of Latham Joyner, giving him more damage onto that 3 machine, and that's where he's going to continue to go around down through corner number 2, and as he comes up to the outside lane right here, going to roll back down the racetrack. Now, luckily enough, everyone else able to avoid him, and no additional damage there for that 03 machine, but heavy contact, heavy carnage out there again on the speedway as Ramrod, what's good, Ramrod? Ramrod coming in, show the love as well, says 1776. Let's go. Cheering on all those 1776 rides here this evening as we do see drivers head down pit side here. Nobody's going to pass up this opportunity here as this, I'm not sure if this is going to put them within their fuel mileage window. I do believe we're going to see these drivers have to at least make one more pit stop here this evening, but everyone going to come down pit road. They're going to make sure their cars are absolutely filled up with fuel and ready to rumble here once again this afternoon, as it does look like Joe David is going to be that first car off of pit lane. Michael Durham Jr. right there with them in second. Halder coming out in third. Great stop there for the Grimace Shake 23 right. Nick Biddy, Caleb Sick back up inside the top 5. Zach Perry, Clay Bellamy, Zach Clanker, Jaden Porter, and Nick Jensen all getting ready here for this restart up inside the top 10. Wyatt Mickelson back at 11th with Josh Kreider there in 12th. And we see Connolly back in position number 13. Mike Corvu, Mark Quinn Brewer, the 18 and Noah Blackwell getting that car repaired, and he's back out there in the 16th position with Jason Bogart, Grant Applegate, Trent Johns, and Michael Ponder Jr. rounding out our top 20 on the speedway. Jacob Lee, Matthew Wood, our top 22 as Latham Joyner still down pit side looking to get that car repaired. The 11 machine of Jordan Brinkley getting some repairs as well. The 95 staying down pit side, making sure he gets this car toughed up and filled up completely here this evening as he'll get ready to roll back out onto the racetrack. Same with that 99 ride of Logan Perriman. Aiden Lucas looking for that lucky dog, the free pass, trying to get back onto the lead lap. Ethan Greek also having some issues there and going a lap down. Caleb Holloman still a few laps down, back in position number 29. Keegan Huey down pit side. He's got heavy front end damage here. Looks like his night may be over. That goose is cooked as he's back in 30th. And for Jordan Fisher, he is taking the 19 ride right off of the racetrack. It's Hunter Smith. Hunter says, let's go Claytor and Jensen. Cheered on Jensen and Claytor here this evening as right now we do see Zach Claytor up and in position number 8. Nick Jensen rounding out our top 10 there on the speedway. Both drivers showing some pretty good speed here this evening, and for all these drivers still rolling out there on the racetrack, still on the lead lap. Their night is not over. They still got a lot of opportunities here to potentially put themselves up and into victory lane here at Talladega Super Speedway. As we'll be right back here in just a couple more seconds for our closing 30 or so laps left in this race.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, back to Green Flag Racing, here at Talladega Super Speedway, as Jason Bogart and the rest of the field back up and through the gears, ready to try to race their way to the front of this pack. There's just over 30 laps left to go, and out in front, leading the way, it is this 6th ride, the G. Loomis ride of Joe David. Joe continues to lead the way as you see them already mixing it up, slicing and dicing. Deeper in the field, that heavily damaged number 74 ride of Jaden Porter, still rocking and rolling out there on the racetrack, even with that front end damage. He has not given up. He is not backing down. He is continuing to roll out there on the racetrack and continuing to look to put himself into the winning position here this evening, as it could come down to that last couple laps here this evening. Could come down to the final lap, as a lot of times we see the driver that takes that white flag does not come back around and pick up the checkered flag here at Talladega Super Speedway. So we'll have to keep that in mind as these drivers count down these laps. We inch closer and closer to that checkered flag on who is going to be in position for the win here this evening. As Joe David out in front, Ryan Holler, our pole sitter, continue to have a great race here this afternoon. That Grimace Shake ride rolling in that second spot on the Speedway continues to keep finding his way towards the front of the field. Now he's hoping to be in this position on that final lap and in a spot to maybe make the move and steal this win away, as I know Holler would love to find his way into victory lane. He's been oh so close in so many different series, and unfortunately just has not found that luck, has not found that extra gear to be able to put himself up and into victory lane. But here in this league, here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League, a couple trips already for him and his teammate Wyatt Mickelson inside the broadcast booth, and I know he'll be looking for another one here today as he pushes Joe David out in front of that outside lane with Michael Durham Jr. starting to rock and roll as he's got that fall-in outdoors Grizzly 0-0 ride hooked up on the outside lane, looking to get some help here from Nick Biddy as that NBD machine rolls there on his back bumper, but now it's going to leave him high and dry. Unfortunately, Biddy jumps to the outside lane, and now we see that 1776 Motorsports, the 76 right in the middle, but he's going to get left high and dry right there as Durham Jr. is going to jump down to the inside lane, and unfortunately there for Zach Berry, just kind of stuck in the middle, hoping to get some help here. He's got Clanker, he's got the 57 Applegate, the 16 right all right there, and now he's going to have a couple drivers slide down in front of him. He's trying to stay right there tight together with everyone, trying to keep himself still in the action and still inside the top 10, but unfortunately not the spot he wants to be. He wants to be at the front of the field and leading this race. Now finds a gap down low, jumps to the inside lane as here we go. You do see Latham Joyner. He's pushing the 18 ride That is Noah Blackwell that he's pushing. They just got tied together. They just brought out that last caution flag. And for Joyner in 18, hooked up again here this evening. We'll have to see if they keep working together as you see that 95 ride of Jacob Hefner. Hefner led a lot of laps there during our first and second stages here this evening. And for the 95 ride, he's been navigating, trying to find his way back to the front of the field here this evening. As GV says the 38 is killed. Unfortunately, a heavy damage there for that 38 machine. More tough brakes, more tough luck there for Keegan Huey here this afternoon as he's parked down pit side, and looks like his night is done. That goose is cooked, and unfortunately his motor is frying down there on pit road. It's Bones, what's good, Bones? Bones coming in, show the love. Says hello, folks. Hello, Bones. How are ya? How are you doing this afternoon? Coming in, show the love here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And if you want to help us out even more, hit that join button. Become a member over on the YouTube stream right now. Become a part of the exclusive members group over on YouTube, and make sure you guys also check us out over on Facebook and over on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. Become a free subscription over there on the Twitch live stream over at Peacemaker Gaming over there on Twitch, and takes a little bit more money out of Jeff Bezos' pocket and gives a little bit extra to us up here in the booth to be able to keep on putting on these amazing shows. So if you have Amazon Prime and you haven't subscribed or use that free subscription over there, make sure you guys go check us out over on Twitch at our live stream over there on the Twitch stream, and become part of the sub club there on Facebook, Twitch, or the members club over on YouTube. As these guys are duking it out, man. They continue to battle, and you see that 3 ride, the 0-3 machine of Mr. Latham Joyner, after getting tied up, tore up, and turned around there in that or that last caution flag. He somehow or another worked his way back up to the front of the field here. He's been making the moves and has raced his way right up inside the top 5, but now gets left high and dry and in the middle here. Unfortunately, he's going to get swallowed up and sent backwards here in this one. And for the 3 machine, just can't quite find a hole, hoping that the 1776, number 76 of Zach Perry, stays right there with them in that 24 ride of Jacob Lee. His teammates trying to get hooked up here towards the front of the field. Now we see some more movement as that 23 rider Ryan Haller is going to jump up in front of them. The 6 ride went there as well, but looks like they're going to fall back in line. There goes the 23 back down to the inside lane. As out in front, it's Connolly, William Connolly, leading this race. The Fireball Whiskey number 25 right at the front of the field with Josh Kreider. They're in position number 2 here this evening. Kreider got tore up and tied up in quite a few wrecks early in this race, but somehow or another, he has navigated his way right back into the action here in this one. As Hunter Smith says, what does Hunter say? Hunter says 38 is going home in a jet plane. Well, the hauler is going back to the shop for the next race. Yeah, unfortunately for the 38, his night is already done here in this one. Heavy damage, heavy contact, and he'll definitely be loaded up. The crew will be towing it back to the shop, looking to get it repaired and back out onto the racetrack for our next race. As we do see that 1776 Motorsports crew getting to the front of the field here. Some great shoving from Zach Perry has pushed Jacob Lee now to the point. So Jacob Lee out in front as Connolly trying to work back to the inside lane. Now we see the 95 ride. He goes up to that 3rd lane. Let's see if Jacob Hafner and that 3 machine, the 33, they get hooked up here once again. They were able to drive their way up to the front of the field early in this race, the 3 of them, and we'll have to wait and see if they can navigate their way right back into it and see if we see 3 wide racing here at the front of the field for this race win here this evening. As the laps continue to get clicked up, we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag with only 25 laps left here in this one. The 3 ride of Latham Joyner continues to push that 95 ride there in that 3rd lane. See some big moves there out of that 06 machine as he goes from that middle group down to the bottom lane. As out in front, Jacob Lee continues to lead the way, but that 3 ride continuing to push the 95. He has not left left that back bumper in a couple laps, and he has pushed him right to the front of the field. As Jacob Hefner back out in front leads the way here once again at Talladega Super Speedway. That 03 Latham Joyner, that car has got to be showing red on that dashboard. That thing has got to need some air. It has got to breathe, and that thing has got to be very, very close to blowing up. Had to be pushing 270, 280 on that degree moment there, as man, he was shoving like crazy, now making a big block right there on Jacob Lee as Lee looked to the outside lane. Unfortunately, that big block lost all that momentum for the 24. He's able to slide back in line in behind the 95 right here, now pushing the 95 as here comes that 06 of Caleb Sick, gonna push that 3 machine right to the front of the field as Latham Joyner will race his way to the front of the pack here, making all the right moves at all the right times, and now finds himself at the front of the pack as they continue to push and shove and shuffle around back there behind him. Everyone trying to navigate their way to the front of the field as it is time to shine. There is no holding back. There is no giving up. There is no give. It's all take. Now out there on the racetrack, and your teammates, if they're with you, you can help them out. But once we get down to those final couple laps, there is no teammates. It is everyone going for the win. It's a Hail Mary out of each and every one of these drivers and just hoping to navigate their way to the front of the field as they continue to shuffle around here. The big one is always lurking in the back of the minds of each and every one of these drivers. Latham Joyner once again getting another big shove here from Jacob Hefner. Hefner and the 03 way out in front as the 95 has to go up the racetrack right there. Now we see this 24 with Jacob Lee come with a big head of steam. See with that 06, now some big shove, some big momentum right here. We'll see how they get shuffled around and where these drivers go, as luckily enough, everyone able to keep their cars pointed in the right direction. They keep on rolling as you see that third lane starting to get brewing again here. This time it's the 57 ride. That is Grant Applegate. Applegate to the outside here. That third lane working perfectly here now this afternoon. And Applegate looking to race his way to the front of the field. Got tied up and unfortunately went a lap down during our first stage. Had to get a couple wing arounds, had to get some repairs, and here he is working his way to the front of the field. Jacob Lee trying to jump up there, trying to go in front of that 57, just could not quite get there, as everyone's still just trying to find their groove, trying to find their lane, and hope to find some dancing partners to help them along and help them towards the front of the field here once again this evening. As Applegate does take that race lead, Matthew Wood right there with him, and Trenton Johns there as well. Trenton, another driver that unfortunately went a lap down early in this race, has battled back though, as you see that 95 ride had those 2 left-hand tires down below the double yellow line, able to open up the door down low and move himself into this third spot here on the racetrack with the outside lane hooked up again. As here we go, Wyatt Mickelson. Good to see Wyatt racing his way now up towards the front here in this HendrickCars.com fueled up motorsports ride, as he now finds himself sitting up inside the top 10, rolling that outside lane, hoping to try to reel back into the back bumper of this 34 ride, but trying to get that 06 of Caleb Sick onto his back bumper, looking to try to build up a bunch of momentum, looking to try to drive his way to the front of the field. Is down the 00 right there in front of him. They're 3 wide again. Here comes that 06 to the outside lane. The 51 picks up the 00. Unfortunately, no one going to go with him, and now he's going to jump down to the inside lane in front of Zach Perry, and now we see some contact. Around goes Applegate. Applegate's turned around. They're wrecking on the front straightaway. Everyone trying to keep themselves ahead of it. A little contact there. They're still wrecking down across the line. That is Nick Biddy, the 23, Ryan Holler, our pole sitter, tied around in this 48. Turned around there as well. Josh Kreider getting tied up in another one, as the caution flying down through the tri-oval here this afternoon. Man, oh man, oh man. We knew it was coming. We knew it was brewing, and unfortunately, a lot of drivers just got absolutely tore up as they were 3 wide here at the front of the field. I'm not sure what was going on or who was making what move, but unfortunately, looks like the 8 ride had the race lead. He's trying to keep himself there. He's trying to keep himself out in front. Applegate to his outside. He's not sure who to go with. Leaves that bottom lane open. The 95 shoves his nose right into it. Unfortunately, ends up making contact there with that 8 machine, and that's what gets this all started. A big move out of the 95 ride. Unfortunately, going to make contact here as he goes down onto the apron. As he hits the apron, Kind of comes back up. The 8 trying to come down to side draft or trying to help block, and unfortunately they just run out of room in a quick hurry. Applegate there on the outside lane, nowhere for him to go. Just gets tied up and tore up here as him and the 8 get up into the outside fence. Then around goes Applegate, and as Applegate goes around, man, you see everyone else trying to avoid him. There's the 25 of Connolly, who's going to get a big piece of him. The 48, the 99, all in there as well, as they all just get tied together. And unfortunately a bunch of tore-up race cars again out there on the speedway. A lot of cars, once again, with some pretty heavy damage out there on the racetrack. And we'll get them all stacked up. We'll get them all racked up and ready to try it all over again. Here is not quite a late race caution flag, but definitely getting closer and closer to that momentum and everything else. See the 48 ride, man. Look at that right front. The contact into the outside fence right there. Heavy damage for Josh Kreider as he looks to get down into his pit stall. Unfortunately, a little too close there to the pit wall, and now gets that car straightened out. Looks like the crew is going to go to work. He is going to have that fast repair, so it looks like they are going to get that car completely repaired and back into the action here this evening. So lucky break there for the Lowe's ride, that his night is not over and he'll be able to continue on battling here this evening. But another big shot like that, his night could be over in a quick hurry. As pretty much everybody, looked like everybody there on the lead lap did come down pit side. It looks like Latham Joyner is going to be our race leader, going back to the green flag. Jacob Hefner will be in second. Jacob Lee back in third with Caleb Sick, Matthew Wood, Zach Perry, Clay Bellamy, the number 6 of Joe David, Noah Blackwell, and Mike Corvu. Now our top 10 out there on the racetrack. Wyatt Mickelson will get restarted here in 11th with Trent Johns, Michael Durham Jr., Josh Kreider, Marquin Brewer, Nick Jensen, Nick Biddy, Jordan Brinkley, Zach Clader back in 19th, and Michael Ponder Jr. rounding out our top 20. Jason Bogart will be in 21st in that Flex Seal number 17 ride. Jaden Porter back in 22nd as Ryan Haller still down pit side getting his Grimace Shake ride repaired. Ethan Greek getting some repairs done and getting this Tracker Boats ride down pit side after getting the Lucky Dog back onto the lead lap for the 3 machine and back into the battle here this evening. Applegate getting lots of repairs done to the 57 ride. Same with Connolly there in the 25. Logan Perriman also down pit side trying to get this car fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack. Caleb Holloman a few laps down here, as it does look like Aiden Lucas has been down pit road here now for multiple laps, and looks like the Ford Performance GOAT Racing diecast number 34 ride going to go multiple laps down here himself. Keegan Huey, unfortunately his day is done in the 38 ride. He's already on the jet plane back to the hometown here for the 38 as his night is done. Same with Jordan Fisher here this evening. As we start with 31, we got 29 drivers still rolling out there on the racetrack, but potentially a couple of drivers stuck down on pit road here, so we may be down to about 27, 28 drivers left in this race. So we do see Logan Perriman still down pit side, still trying to get this car fixed up, and unfortunately going to go another lap down here this evening. So we'll get them stacked up, we'll get them racked up, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as Latham Joyner and Jacob Hefner, our top 2 out there on the racetrack, getting ready for another big restart here this evening, as we'll be right back here in just a couple seconds after these messages.
Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags, wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah.
Alrighty, as here we go. Back to green flag racing here in this one. The 03 of Latham Joyner out in front with the 95 of Jacob Hefner. There to his outside is the green flag back out into the air here at Talladega Super Speedway. As the laps continue to click down, we inch closer and closer to the checker flag. Only 17 more laps left here in this race. And you see that 95 right getting a great jump to the outside lane. Finally, some help to the back bumper here for that 03 machine. Unfortunately for Latham Joyner, looks like he is going to lose that lead, and he will slide in behind the 95 ride here as Jacob Hefner quickly jumping down low in front of that 03 machine. They've been working well together all evening long, and they continue to battle as Caleb Sick up on the outside lane. Getting a great jump here from the 1776 Motorsports ride. The 76 of Zach Perry on his back bumper. They get a little broken up right there, and now we do see that 76 jump down to the inside lane. He'll back up in the lineup here with his teammate Jacob Lee as they are nose to tail, and now looking for a big run themselves, looking to see if they can jump up and make the move around Jacob Hefner. And Latham Joyner is scum contact. Around goes the 00. Around goes the 00. The caution flag back out on the racetrack here in this one. Now the caution flag going to come back out again here this afternoon as contact deeper in the field once again. Back down across the start finish line. 4 wide here across the line, and unfortunately, not sure if the 00 comes down the track or if the 8 ride comes up the track. Unfortunately, they do make contact right here. Some pretty solid contact. Let's take a look. Looks like that 00 trying to come down. 8 kind of comes up a little bit. Unfortunately, they run out of room. The 00, Michael Durham Jr. comes down, bounces off the 18 of, oh man, well, Blackwell nowhere to go. The Exalta number 14 machine. You see Trenton Johns, some damage there as well for the 51 of Wyatt Mickelson. As a bunch of carnage and a bunch of tore up race cars. Somehow or another, this 00 gets pointed back in the right direction and keeps on rolling out there on the racetrack. I don't know how he was able to keep that thing rolling, but somehow or another he does, and we do see that caution flag fly here again this evening. So another yellow flag, another restart here in this race, and be another opportunity here for drivers to try to line things up and try to find their way back to the front of the field here in this one. As the caution flag out again, everyone catching up to our official iRacing pace car here this afternoon, as Jacob Hefner out in front will be our race leader. Now, these drivers came down pit road on lap number 75, and virtually that's 19 laps left to go. I think they're all good on fuel. I don't think anybody is going to have to come back down pit side here this afternoon, unless you want to get some repairs. Maybe got that extra set of tires. Now, tires are a major thing here at Talladega, but having that extra little bit of grip level and being able to feel a little bit more comfortable going from the high side to the bottom side and moving around the racetrack, having those fresher tires can always help you out. But I'm sure everyone just threw some fresh tires onto their cars as they were down pit side for quite a while, making sure that their cars were absolutely filled up with fuel there during that last caution break. And now with this extra yellow flag out there on the speedway, that's going to make this a very short run to the end of this race here. We're going to get back to green flag racing with virtually, I'm going to say, about 12 laps, 13 laps left to go in this race. Another caution flag or two, and we could get into the conversation of potentially some NASCAR overtime. And now, that's where the fuel could definitely play a part in this race. Potentially seeing those NASCAR overtimes here this evening could have some drivers on the brink of potentially running out of fuel, especially if we go to a second overtime. But seeing all these yellow flags, being able to kind of clutch it and roll through these corners and down the straightaways and try to save as much fuel as possible under the yellow flag should make it a-okay for all these guys to not only make it to the end of this race as they were down pit road with what, virtually 19 laps left to go. So they should be good. They should be good, even for maybe, you know, with another yellow or two, could probably be able to good to go for at least one or two of our NASCAR overtimes here this evening, if we see them here this evening. As Logan Perriman, what's good, Perriman? Perriman says, hey, Peacemaker, what's good, Logan? How are you, brother? Logan coming in, showing the love here in this one as well over there on the YouTube stream, as ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you haven't already, make sure you guys help us out here. Hit that like button, hit that share button, jump into the comment section, drop a couple comments for us right now. Let us know who you're cheering for and who you want to see up in victory lane here this evening. Whether it is yourself as a driver or if it's one of your, fellow competitors or teammates out there on the racetrack that you want to see get a dub, or potentially, if you're one of the fans in the stands of one of these drivers, man, cheer on these drivers right now. Let them know that you were watching, you're cheering them on, and hoping to see them find their way into victory lane here today. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here this evening as we'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle here in this one as the lights are still on the official iRacing pace car. We are going to see them turn off here this lap by, and as I said, we're going to go back to green flag racing now with 12 laps left to go. When we see that green flag fly, it will be 12 to go here at Talladega Super Speedway. So, man, it's going to be interesting, man. One or two caution flags here late in the race, and we're right there to the end of this one, and definitely not the way drivers want to end it with a NASCAR overtime. They want to see this one go clean and green to the end. They want to see this Duke get out, door to door, elbows up, 2 wide, 3 wide, down across the line to see who can pick up the win. They don't like to see these yellow flags as much as everybody else, but it's part of racing, man. Unfortunately, sometimes that little bit of contact and everything else can get you tore up and taken out, as Logan Perriman says that last caution destroyed the car. Oh, brother, that is a tough one right there, man. That is a very, very tough one. Obviously, a lot of drivers running into those issues here today and getting that, heavy damage on their rides. And unfortunately, definitely not the place you want to be, down either off the racetrack or still down pit road, as it looks like Perriman, Aiden Lucas, Keegan Huey, Jordan Fisher, looks like their nights are done. So at least 4 drivers are down and out of this race. We start with 31. We got 27 still rolling out there on the racetrack, and some of them are a lot prettier than others. As you look at Grant Applegate back here, Grant's got a ton of damage on this number 57 ride, and he's just hoping to try to bounce back here as Connolly and Caleb Holloman, he's been loving these yellow flags. Early in this race, the 1776 Motorsports number 97 ride came down pit road, went about 3 or 4 laps down, was able to get the wave arounds and get the lucky dogs, and somehow or another this 97 is back onto the lead lap here and back into contention this afternoon. So sticking with it, not giving up, continuing to battle hard out there on the racetrack, and for this 97 ride, right back into the battle here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. As Mark Simons coming in, showing the love as well with the like on the stream. How are you, Mark? Mark coming in, drop that thumbs up on the broadcast as Jacob Hafner and Latham Joyner getting ready to go back to battle here. They lead our front row back to the green flag here with 12 laps left in this race with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League here this evening. Man, this has been a blast. These guys have put on a show, and ladies and gentlemen, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as some late race action. Still a lot of cars, still a big one potentially in our future here this evening, as we could see a lot of cats get tore up in a quick hurry. We could see a big one where pretty much everybody except for maybe a handful of drivers can escape it here late in this race, as we're going to see these guys go 2 wide, 3 wide, maybe even a little 4 wide out there on the racetrack, as we are back to green flag racing here at Talladega. Jacob Hafner out in front, getting a great shove here from that 0-3 as Joyner quickly gets to his back bumper. Now you see that 1776 teammates right there, nose to tail. That is the Jacob Lee machine. They're in third, and Zach Perry, they're in position number 4. The outside lane trying to get rolling here. Unfortunately, they are falling farther and farther back as Joe David getting a shove here from Josh Kreiner. Kreiner trying to work his way back up to the front of the field as Matthew Wood down low. Here comes that 11 right in Jordan Brinkley. It's been a while since we saw Brinkley back up here towards the front of the field. Same with Clay Bellamy, but they're both looking to try to race their way up to the front of the pack now, and they are using that outside lane, but unfortunately they're going to lose another driver. But it looks like they may gain one right here as the 76 of Zach Perry goes to the outside lane, and we'll see. Doesn't look like the 48's going to go with them, but unfortunately for Kreiner, the 11 right elects to go to the back bumper of that 76. And now you see Jacob Lee. He sees his teammate out there. He jumps up to the outside lane. He's going to get picked up here, and now they're going to get that outside lane rolling here as Joe David works himself up door to door here for position number 3. And Jacob Hafner, Latham Joyner still hooked up nose to tail here at the front of the field. These two have been working well together all evening long and looking to try to put one or the other of these cars into victory lane. But all these drivers back there behind them are looking to knock them out of the top 2 spots, as you see a couple big blocks right here out of that 0-3 of Latham Joyner. Unfortunately, Joyner now stuck in the middle, but here comes the 11 ride of Jordan Brinkley as we're 3 wide here at Talladega Super Speedway for the race lead. 3 wide racing here, duking it out here at Talladega Super Speedway. Now a big run and a big move there into that 0-3 ride as he jumps up to the outside lane. Looks like he's going to get left high and dry, and we're now 4 wide down the back straightaway. 4 wide racing here at Talladega as Jacob Hafner out in front, but contact, look out. Oh baby, the 76 ride of Zach Perry gonna go around, heavy contact, caution flag back out on the racetrack. Caution flag back out here in this one. Looks like Michael Ponder Jr. heavy damage here for that Shell Pennzoil Ford Performance ride here this evening as the 22 ride destroyed, absolutely tore apart there. The hood finally comes down as he comes to a halt here on the front straightaway. The 8 ride of Trent Johns also tore up here in this one. Heavy front end damage there for the 8 machine. He's going to get stopped there on the racetrack as well. Looks like he'll tow his car back down pit side as, man, watch this 76 machine. Unfortunately here, they're 3-4 wide right here. This is some crazy racing, and unfortunately 4 wide just does not work. Is up and into corner number 3 here. Looks like the 22 maybe comes up ever so slightly, and as he does, he's going to end up clipping that right or left rear of the 76 right here. Comes up the track, flips that 76, gets him sideways on the racetrack. Nothing he could do. They make contact again now, parked sideways right there. You do see Mike Coravu, the 18 ride of Noah Blackwell. He's going to get some pretty heavy damage into that one. They were staying straight somehow or another for a little while. Then all of a sudden, yeah, the 76 continues to go around, and you see this 22 hard contact up and into the outside fence. Big hit right there for him. And then the 76 ride, he's going to come back up the racetrack. He gets hard up into the wall as well. Heavy damage there for that Busch Latte machine. And fortunately a couple more drivers tore up. That could have been a whole lot bigger than what it was, and luckily a lot of drivers able to avoid, a lot of drivers able to keep themselves out of that contact. But for the 22, he's parked down pit side with heavy damage, trying to get that thing repaired. And we see Mark Quinn Brewer also down pit road, still getting his repairs done. Trent Johns down pit side, trying to get that car fixed up. Now we do see Ryan Haller, Wyatt Mickelson, Zach Perry coming back down pit side in the 76. He's got that heavy damage on his ride. Looks like he's hopefully going to have that quick repair. As Zach Claytor coming back down pit road as well in the Rush Truck Centers number 39 ride. Looks like he misses his pit stall, and there's the quick repair for the 76. Back into a good piece and rolling again on the racetrack. You do see that Grimace Shake 23 ride, our pole sitter here this evening, still getting this car repaired. It doesn't look like he either has that quick repair left in his back pocket or potentially not wanting to use it yet, knowing that maybe there's still more carnage, maybe more contact and chaos out there on the racetrack, and trying to keep that quick repair still in his back pocket for even later in the game here this evening. Could play out perfectly for this 23 ride as he's going to be back deeper in the field. Going to have to look for a lot of track position and try to race his way up and through the field, and sometimes he just going to get stuck with nowhere to go out there on the racetrack. Is out in front, it is Jacob Hafner. Hafner continuing to lead the way with Joe David there in second. Caleb Sick back in position number 3 with Matthew Wood and Jacob Lee, our top 5. Nick Biddy there in 6th with Latham Joyner back in 7th in that 0-3 machine. And then we see Ethan Greek up into 8th, our Stage 2 winner, now back inside the top 10 here this evening. Jordan Brinkley and Josh Kreider, our top 10 here this evening, getting ready for the restart is Clay Bellamy, Nick Jensen, Mike Coravu, the 00 Michael Durham Jr., the 17 rider Jason Bogart, rounding out our top 15. Then we see Noah Blackwell, William Connolly, Jaden Porter, Caleb Holloman back there in the 97 ride in 19. Zach Perry there in 20th with Zach Claytor, Wyatt Mickelson, and Ryan Haller bringing up the rear of our lead lap drivers back in 23rd. As Ponder Jr. getting back out onto the racetrack, unfortunately he is a few laps down now for the 22 ride. Trenton Johns looks like his night is done. Looks like the 14 ride potentially done here this evening, as well as Grant Applegate. So we started with 31. We are now now officially down to about 24 drivers still rolling on the Speedway. So it looks like 7 cats have loaded up their ride and now are done here this afternoon. So the field is getting thinned out, but the laps continue to get clicked down, and we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag here this evening as the lights are once again off the official iRacing pace car, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. It'll be 6 laps left to go here in this one as Tim Blankenbeckler. How are you, Tim? Tim coming in showing the love over there on Facebook says 4 wide never works very long. Yeah, unfortunately, 4 wide is never a viable option for a lot of laps or a lot of time here at Talladega Super Speedway. And unfortunately for these drivers, they found out the hard way here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to duke it out here, man. Jump into the comment section right now. Who do you guys think gets it done? Does the 95 ride stay out in front? Does he pick up the win? Once he's got out in front, he has held down the fort for quite a while, but now doesn't really have any teammates close to his back bumper, and now it's really time to shine. Who's got that extra speed? Who's got that extra gear? Can we see somebody like Ethan Greek or Nick Biddy find their way up into victory lane? That 48 ride has gotten tied up in quite a few incidences. Can Josh Kreiner find his way from 10th up and into the top spot, or do we see someone from even deeper in the field somehow or another navigate their way up and into victory lane here this evening? Do we see a driver like Jason Bogart or maybe Zach Perry, who just got tore up and tied up in that last caution flag? Maybe Ryan Haller and Wyatt Mickelson, teammates back here deeper in the field, maybe they get hooked together and put themselves up into the winning situation. As Bones does says that pay window is about to open. As Clint would say, yes it is. That pay window is about to open here in this one. As Bones says the number 6 car for the win. Cheered on Joe David here this evening as Joe getting ready for the restart here. We will have Matthew Wood to his back bumper, the Racers for Christ. Wood in the car in that Matthew Wood ride. Getting ready to roll here from position number 4 is Jacob Hafner, our control car, our race leader, again here this afternoon, down through the Geico restart zone here at Talladega Super Speedway. We'll get back onto the lap pedal, and here we go, back to green flag racing, here in the wheel-to-wheel racing league. It's Jacob Hafner back onto the lap pedal, hoping to get some help here, looking for this 06 to get right to his back bumper, and he'll start to shove him down through corner 1 and 2 as we start to build up that speed. All that momentum, all the speed about to come right at you here down the back straightaway. It's out in front. It is that 95 ride who's able to control this race lead, keep himself at the point. The 06, pushing him down the back straightaway as they start to hit top speed down into corner number 3. As everyone else trying to figure out their cars, trying to figure out their rides, and trying to find some teammates and some help out here on the Speedway. We still got the big question of, do we see another wreck? Do we see another big one out there on the Speedway? And if we do, does fuel start to become an issue for these drivers as we start to head into some of our NASCAR overtimes? I don't think fuel will be quite as important here this evening as all these yellow flags helping these drivers save that fuel and make it here for probably at least 1 or maybe even 2 or 3 NASCAR overtime attempts this afternoon. And there we go! Caution flag back in on the racetrack. Heavy hit right there as the 6 ride gets turned around up and into the outside fence. Heavy damage there for Joe David and for that number 16 as Matthew Wood and Joe David get tied together. And unfortunately, Bones, you jinxed him here this afternoon. Joe, if you're watching, brother, you can blame all that on Bones does right now. They were cheering you on up there in the chat, and I think that jinxed them. I'm not going to put that on you. But let's take a look here. As Matthew Wood all over the back bumper trying to bump, draft, and push this 6 ride out in front there. Door to door with our race leaders actually taking the race lead, and the 6 ride kind of just stays in that little bit of a middle groove right there. The 16th still on his back bumper, unfortunately a little higher up the racetrack and just pushing in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and it's just going to hook this 6 ride around. Unfortunately, it's just going to take him right there. There's that contact more towards that right rear quarter panel and then up and around the nose of the 16. Hard contact into that outside fence. Heavy damage there for the 6 of Joe David and for Matthew Wood. Both drivers getting tore up. They're virtually right inside of each other out there on the racetrack, and this creating more carnage and chaos for both of them out there on the Speedway, and that is definitely a big ouch right there, Bones. That's a big ouch right there for that 6 machine of David here this afternoon as another caution flag, another big wreck here this evening, and that is going to get us even closer to the checkered flag here as Joe is taking his car down pit road, looking to get that thing repaired, trying to get back out onto the racetrack. We did see Ryan Haller. It looks like he's gotten his car a little bit more repaired. Still heavy damage here on that Grimace Shake ride. Unfortunately, just hasn't really drove up through the field. Him and Wyatt Mickelson both kind of stuck back here just outside the top 20. We'll see if on this final run they can try to work themselves up and into the hunt here at the front of the field. As out in front, it is that number 95 rise. We do see Matthew Wood. He is going to navigate his way down pit road. We'll see if anyone else comes down pit lane with him here. I'm figuring that Ryan Haller is going to come down pit road as our pole sitter, still with that damage, just looking to get it repaired and at least back into some decent shape. We'll see if the 16's got that quick repair. It looks like he's going to hit his box, and doesn't look like that car has been repaired yet, so not sure if he's got that quick repair left in his back pocket, and unfortunately that heavy damage may potentially take Wood out of the opportunity to win this race here this evening. Heavy right front damage there for that 16 right in the Racers for Christ machine. His night may be done here as he may be able to get back out there, continue rolling, and continue to try to find some extra speed and some extra positions with other caution flags, but I think he's going to be stuck back there for quite a while as Michael Ponder Jr., that Shell Pennzoil number 22, will get the free pass, the lucky dog, and he will work himself at least closer to the lead lap here this evening. Still going to need a couple more caution flags, hopefully, to work this 22 ride back onto the lead lap. And for Jacob Hafner, he definitely does not want to see another caution flag fly, as we will go to a green-white checkered here this evening. A little NASCAR overtime here this afternoon. So NASCAR overtime here at Talladega Super Speedway, and we'll be right back here in just a few more moments. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere as our feature is about to come to a close in just a few more moments. The craziness, the chaos, the caution flags are still to come here in this one, as I got a sneaky suspicion we're not done seeing these drivers destroy these race cars here this afternoon.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. the grind, stay crazy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go back to Green Flag Racing for NASCAR Overtime here at Talladega Super Speedway as the 95 right quickly back off to the loud pedal down through the Geico restart zone. He's moving around, he's trying to throw some blocks right there with the 06, trying to stay hooked up in right there to hit the outside groove. As the 06 rider, Caleb Sick, trying to stay right there with him. You see that inside lane. They are all nose to tail hooked up here nicely, looking for a big run down the back straightaway, looking to push this 95 right out in front. But you see these drivers continue to move around. They're shuffling. They're almost wrecking. Somehow we keep it going in the right direction. Now we see the 33 up and into the outside fence. Drivers down onto the apron. Everyone trying to make their way through and up to the front of the field. And we somehow or another say green flag here in this one as Clay Bellamy, unfortunately, falls all the way back now into 23rd on the speedway. Mike Corvu there in 22nd is out in front. Caleb Sick has taken that race lead away from the 95 right. As Jacob Hafner slides back into position number 4, we will see the white flag fly here. So one and done for the NASCAR overtimes here this evening. The next flag will be the checkered flag no matter what, as Caleb Sick continues to lead the way. Jacob Lee there in position number 2 with Jordan Brinkley and Jacob Hafner there in 3rd and 4th. You do see Nick Biddy right there trying to catch up to these guys, trying to reel them in, but unfortunately no help to his back bumper. But now we see Brinkley go to the outside groove. Brinkley moves up to the outside lane. Unfortunately, no one going with them. No help and has to fall right back in line. But now here comes a big run from the 95 right now. A big move from the 06. He's going to go up in block. They're getting tied together. They're wrecking here. Down and into the tri-oval is Jacob Lee, who will jump out in front. A big run from Jason Bogart. They're still wrecking back there behind him. There goes Greco around, and it's Jacob Lee who will pick up the checkered flag here at Talladega Super Speedway in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. Jacob Lee able to be in the right place at the right time, not moving around, and puts himself into victory lane. Sometimes it's less is better out there on the racetrack, and Jacob Lee able to find himself up and into victory lane. Let's take a look back here at this one as they were wrecking back behind him. Some big moves here. Caleb Sick going from the bottom groove here. He goes to throw the block here. I think he thinks that 11 ride's coming with a big head of steam right here. Tries to go up to block him, realizes the 24 is right there on his back bumper, and decides that he was just going to go up high. Unfortunately, throws the block on the 11. That gets him kind of sideways as the number 95 ride continues to push him. Now all three of these drivers start smacking together, starting to hit and beat and bang, and unfortunately, they lose a ton of momentum and speed, and Jacob Lee down low just able to drive right down and around them and continue to just try to pull away here on the front straightaway. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see these guys come in a big hurry. That is that 32 ride of Nick Biddy going to the outside lane, but here comes that 17 ride of Jason Bogart. He's trying to take that momentum right through all of them. Unfortunately, just nowhere really to go. He gets turned up, or he goes up into the 11 ride, turned around, and then comes down over the nose of the 03 and the 3 machine Ethan Greek up the racetrack into the 95 ride, into Nick Biddy as they wreck down across the line. It's Jacob Hafner who comes home in second, and Caleb Sick there in that 06 able to come home in third. Josh Kreider somehow working his way through this one. Let's see if we can jump back on board here with this 48 ride, as he's going to have a great look at this. He's going to have a great perspective just watching these guys battle. Let's see if we can get another angle here as he's going to see these guys duking it out, battling all the movement and then the carnage here, and somehow or another he's going to find his way through even with all this smoke. Just shoots through the middle, gets through there, almost gets clipped by that 03 ride. Somehow comes home in position number 4. Nick Jensen able to come home in that 5th position here this evening, man. What a run and what a drive right there. Is out in front, picking up the win. It's Jacob Lee who gets it done here in this one, and now we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the booth here for some post-race interviews. Post-race interviews coming up next. We'll get these drivers up and into the booth here for their post-race interview. Just waiting for them to jump into the waiting room for us to pull them in here. after what was a crazy run, a wild race here all evening long. As hey, it's Kev says, got my first ever pole in a league, got no stage points in the first, came in third the second stage, then got wrapped up in other people's messes, ruining my race. Unfortunately, that's Talladega in a nutshell right there, brother. That's Talladega in a nutshell. As Kev says, tough night for Wyatt and I, but we'll rebound next week. Yeah, brother, that's all you can do, brother. That's all you can do. Rebound, come back with your head on straight and arrow and looking for a big run and another great finish here later next week, as we'll see these drivers back in action next Sunday. As we do see Jacob Lee in there. We're just going to pull him in. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner. The number 24 of Jacob Lee, as Jacob picks up the dub here in this one. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
I got you.
Jacob, man, what a run, what a drive. Take us back through this one, man. Is a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage out there, a lot of caution flags, and somehow or another you're able to navigate your way to the front of the field here in those closing laps. You're in a great position, pushing that 0-6 ride down the back straightaway. Don't make the move. You stick right there with them, and then through 3 and 4, you see that 11 car and the 95 looking to your outside. You don't try to throw the block on them. The 0-6 does. It opens up that inside lane for you. You jump down low. They make contact up above you, and you're able to just keep that foot in the throttle and just cruise control right on around him. As there was carnage and chaos going on back behind you, you were just focused on hitting that checkered flag first, and you were able to get it done here in this one, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind here as you're parked down in the Talladega Super Speedway victory lane.
Heck yeah, boys! I made the Dega. No, it was a great, good race. Like I said, it just a lot of intense racing for sure. I mean, these Monster Energy cars are super fast, a lot of fun. They just, there at the end, I knew if I was to fake him going high, I knew he was going to go for it because they're running on the top side. So I did the old Days of Thunder move where I went high and came back down low, and it worked out great. And then they, of course, got tangled up there. Then I got forced down a little bit there, but, I brought it back on the track nice and safely. And so it all turned out really well. A lot of fun here tonight. I got in some accidents early on, but everything worked out for us, worked the way back to the field, and just, man, we pursued ahead. It was great race overall. Definitely kept me on my toes. Definitely got me thinking really hard what to do next, so I can tell you that much. It was wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single one of these drivers on their tippy toes, lap after lap after lap. And here in this one, man, I don't know, were you holding your breath there on that final lap? Because I know it was crazy, and there was something brewing there in behind you. You knew that 0-6 ride was just trying to throw blocks and trying to keep everyone back there at bay. But right behind you, obviously a very fast car in that 95 ride of Jacob Hefner, the 11 ride, showing a lot of speed all evening long as well. You knew that they were going to make some moves. You saw the 11 trying to get something brewing there on the back straightaway. Didn't look like the 95 ride wanted to go yet. They wanted to build up that momentum, and they were able to get it down through 3 and 4, man. What was kind of going through your mind there as you were seeing those guys wanting to make those moves there on that final lap, and just knowing that you wanted to stick with that kind of inside lane?
Yeah, I mean, in past, I've always shot to the outside there, and every time I do it, I get screwed, and it does never work out for me. So this time, I was just committed to stay on the inside, and I mean, they were hammering me, and just trying to keep it straight was difficult. I can tell you that much. Luckily, I raced a lot of dirt track as well, and so it definitely helped and played in this for sure. But man, it was wild. I can tell you that, and even coming to the checkered there. Looking behind me was insane. I mean, there was carnage everywhere. And, and I was just like, oh, please don't let nobody get through that, because I know they're going to be coming with a head of steam there. And, I hate that they tore up so many race cars back there, but I am so thankful that we definitely pulled this 1776 Motorsports car into victory lane. Oh, my goodness, man, this was a blast.
Absolutely, brother. Heck of a run, heck of a drive here this afternoon for yourself and your entire team, as we saw Zach Perry up there battling hard, leading some laps here this evening as well, and coming home back there in the 8th position. And obviously, you being able to get it done and putting yourself up here in victory lane is going to feel very, very nice for the 1776 Motorsports group.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate you. I just want to give a shout out to the 1776 Motorsports team. I mean, just an incredible team. A lot of fun. We work with Jason, Zach, and Caleb and them. I mean, dude, we have so much fun and just a great group of guys just to get out here and team up and race. I can't thank them enough. Definitely got to thank WB Creative Designs. Make sure y'all head over there, look at Lee 20, get 20% off of your paint scheme. If you like kind of my paint scheme tonight, head over to Facebook, look up WB Creative Designs. Let them know Jacob Lee sent you. He'll get you that code percentage off and get you a nice looking paint job. And so, man, I'm just super thankful for you guys. Thank you for this Will to Will Racing Club League, and thank you for your incredible broadcast as well. Really appreciate everything you guys are doing there.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Jacob, great run, great drive here this evening, brother, on Mother's Day weekend, giving your mama a big W here this evening. And I'm not sure if she was tuning in, but I'm sure you're going to want to show her this one as you're able to put it into victory lane here on Mother's Day. That's going to add a different aspect to it as well, maybe a little extra, specialty to this win here this evening, knowing that you were able to win this Mother's Day race.
Heck yeah. Happy Mother's Day, Mama. Your boy made it to victory lane. So, and happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there. Love y'all so much. Appreciate y'all. And thank you for what all the mothers do out there in the world. We're not able to do things like this without our moms. So appreciate them and love them very much.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Jacob, congrats on the win. Congrats on the great drive here at Talladega. And we can't wait to see you back in action next Sunday and hopefully maybe right back up here in victory lane.
Hey, man, brother, I love it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything y'all do.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jacob Lee, as Jacob gets the dub here in this one. What a run and what a drive there for that 24 machine this afternoon, as he's able to capture that victory and put himself up and into the top spot and into victory lane here at Talladega Super Speedway. We'll go through the Discord here and see if we find any of our other top 3 drivers, as it does not look like we have Jacob Hefner in here. So we'll give a quick shout out here. Obviously, there was no logos on that number 95 ride of Jacob Hefner, but Hefner able to come home in position number 2, man. Had a solid run, solid drive all evening long. Good points there in stage number 1. Won that second stage in the 95 ride, and that actually, no, Ethan Greek won that second stage. I think Jacob Hefner won the first stage here this afternoon, and then had a good run there in stage number 2 as well. And then here he is at the end of this race, coming home in position number 2 right there. Had a good shot at it, had an opportunity to potentially win this race, and unfortunately hadn't tied up. A little contact there later on, but still able to keep his foot in the throttle, keep that car pointed in the right direction, and bring it home in position number 2. Solid run, solid drive there for Jacob this evening, as Jimmy 6 Time says, drivers who can't win on normal tracks drive so stupid on plate tracks. Unfortunately, brother, that's the way it always goes. That's always the way it goes, man. Even in real life NASCAR racing, you get those drivers that sometimes struggle at the normal oval racetracks, and they push the subject maybe a little bit too hard. Maybe I would call it desperation sometimes out there on the racetrack, just desperate to try to get that good run, that solid finish, or a win. And unfortunately, when desperation comes in to play, a lot of times carnage comes to follow. And unfortunately, that's where we see a lot of that contact and tore up race cars out there on the speedway. And for Jacob Hefner, he was able to avoid most of it all evening long and still bring it home in position number 2. Solid run there for him, and doesn't look like we got Caleb in the Discord either. So, oh, no, there's Caleb. Is that Hefner there as well? Okay, never mind. We do have our other 2 drivers now joining the Discord here. So let's get Jacob Hefner up here into the booth. Hey, Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth.
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad. Jacob, man, what a run, what a drive for you here this afternoon, man. We were just talking about you and how good of a day you were having, man. Obviously a very fast hot rod. Once you got out in front, it seemed like it was very, very hard for other drivers to find their way around you until late in this race. You kind of got shuffled back there on that restart. You were trying to get something brewing with the 11 ride, and unfortunately, as you guys get rolling, the 06 leaves that bottom lane, throws that little bit of a block, then contact. You guys all lose that momentum, and allows Jacob Lee just to run away with this one, as there was more carnage coming, as that back behind you guys with all that momentum and speed built up, they were able to hunt you guys down a quick hurry. Then obviously we see all that contact and carnage back down across the line, man. But take us back through this race and how you were able to come home still in that second place finish.
Yeah, I didn't qualify too good. I tried something that I'd never tried before. This sim is so weird with what it does or doesn't like in super speedway qualifying, and I never qualified super speedway, so I started in the back. It didn't seem to matter, and I got linked there with my rapid race cars teammates, Latham, Jordan, and Clay, and we I felt like we kind of took control of the race there for the most part. Honestly, I felt like I should have won both stages. I just left the bottom open, played a little too conservative, and that was kind of on me. I fell back, and unfortunately, none of us got points in that second stage. But yeah, it was a good finish, good result. It kind of stings a little bit because I felt like me and Latham especially, I felt like we really controlled the field hard there and really dominated. Like I mean, we could control any lane, and whenever we could get, Jordan and Clay up there, when they had some damage early, and thankfully they were able to get it repaired there at the end. But I tried to give Jordan a push coming off of two, and the '06 kind of blocked it, and I just got a bad push to the left rear and turned him down into him, and that just killed our chances. And then they wrecked behind us, but P2, I'll take it. Second week in the league, trying to fight hard to get in that top 12 in points and have a shot at the championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. A newcomer to the series, and not very many races early on in the season being a part of those, giving up a lot of points and having good runs like these, having some of those stage points and having good runs like it did here tonight, man. Definitely working on towards jumping up and through that point standings and towards that top 12 here in a quick hurry after two very strong performances out of this 95 ride.
Yeah, thank you. I just got to thank all my teammates. Latham Joyner, Jordan Brinkley, Clay Bellamy. We worked well together tonight. I hate we didn't get the one through four like we had initially planned, but that's how racing goes. We'll be back at Charlotte, I think is next. So look for a good run there.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack. Jacob, congratulations on the second place finish and the solid run here this evening at Talladega Super Speedway, and we'll see you back out there on the racetrack next Sunday.
Yes. Yep. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Jacob Hefner. Jacob coming home in position number 2, solid run, solid drive there for that 95 ride, as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, Caleb Sick. Now, I do believe I'm saying his last name wrong. Let's see if we can get that corrected here and see if we can try to memorize that for next Sunday. As Caleb coming home here in position number 3. Let's get him up into the booth. Hey, Caleb, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Not too bad, Caleb, man. A solid run, a great drive here for you again tonight, man. Obviously getting tied up in a couple incidences out there on the racetrack, but late in this race, you're able to be that first car down across the line to see that white flag. And unfortunately, most of the time, that is not the driver who comes across the checkered flag first here at Talladega, and unfortunately it played out exactly like that. Some big moves back behind you, and unfortunately kind of move up, trying to see if the 24 ride was going to go with you there into the middle groove and try to block that 11 in the 95, and unfortunately kind of left you high and dry there, jumped down to the inside. All of a sudden you guys kind of get tied up there as the 11 and 95 pushing hard down towards that start finish line, and all of a sudden you guys just lose all that momentum. Jacob Lee able to run away with it, and then you guys just try to hang on there at the end as the other cars back behind you come with a big head of steam right into you guys, creating some absolute chaos down across the line.
Yeah, just it was a tough race. I laid back a little too much in the first stage and never could make it back. And then leading the second stage with a lap and a half to go, and just second place car just absolutely right hooked me going down the back straightaway, which is tough. But I don't think that was intentional, or at least I hope it wasn't. And then, like you said, being a leader on the white was tough, and second place car kind of drug its brake and launched me off in there into turn 3, which, that's all's fair. And I tried to be in both lanes in turn 4, and basically just left myself in the middle of nowhere. And I couldn't get back down in time, and I couldn't get up, so I was just kind of stuck in the second lane. And I don't know what hit me on the outside there coming out of 4, but the wheel was all the way right, all the way left, all the way right, all the way left, and somehow we came out straight. And then, yeah, some cars with a full head of steam just piled it in there into us. I mean, to be honest, we're lucky to have survived. So just fun, thankful to be able to finish. But man, it was close to being a huge wad up there for us as well. I mean, a lot of people got tore up there about, 1,000 feet short of the line. So just kind of a weird finish.
Yeah, definitely a weird finish here, but a Talladega finish for the ages. As always, a great time watching you guys making those moves and battling and trying to figure out what's going to be that winning move out there on the racetrack. And you're in position to win it here today. Unfortunately, you settle in for a third-place run here at Talladega as the sun is setting now over the racetrack. Caleb, who would you like to thank here for such a great run and strong drive here this afternoon?
Yeah, this is only our third race, and we've shown good speed in the first two, and I've wrecked myself like a big idiot. So, thankful to not be wrecking myself this week and not be the cause of any wrecks. I'd like to also thank my teammates, Nick, Joe David, Mike Corvu, my wife for letting me race on Mother's Day night. Appreciate that. Sis Speed Shop, Nick Bitty Designs, and everybody puts this on. Appreciate you for hanging out with us and broadcasting, and the league admins for all they got to do. They got to watch a lot of replays tonight, and people don't realize that sucks. You hate giving out penalties to people, and it's just part of the whole deal. So hopefully we'll be up here and talk to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack as we head to Charlotte next week, and hopefully see that 06 right and putting on another good show and another good race for us, and potentially being right back up here in the broadcast booth and a couple spots better into victory lane yourself.
Appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher here this evening. Caleb Sisk. Caleb Sisk coming home in position number 3 here this evening in that 06 ride as Sisk comes home in third here this evening. A great run, great drive, some craziness out there on the racetrack, a lot of beating and banging, battling, a lot of hard racing here, lap after lap after lap, and it's Jacob Lee who's able to come home with the checkered flag here today and put himself up and into victory lane here this evening. Huge congratulations there again to Jacob Lee and Jacob Hafner and Caleb Sisk, our top 3 here this evening. Josh Kreider, Nick Jensen up there inside the top 5. Ethan Greek, Nick Betty, Zach Perry, Matthew Wood, and Zach Clater rounding out our top 10 here this evening. Heck of a comeback and rebound there for Caleb Holloman after early on going multiple laps down, able to rebound and drive himself up into 12th there. A heartbreaker there for Jordan Brinkley as he was part of that top 4 battle down into the tri-oval and unfortunately got tied up, tore up there in that last lap wreck, and all of a sudden goes from inside the top 4 to all of a sudden back in 14th here to finish this afternoon. A lot of carnage, a lot of tore up race cars, and unfortunately for a lot of drivers, their night's coming to an early end here, but for a lot of these cats, man, put on a hell of a show for us, a heck of a race, and a heck of a performance for all the fans in the stands here this evening. And that brings us to you guys, all the fans in the stands. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning in and showing the love here throughout the evening. And it's not too late to show that love. Make sure you guys hit that like button for us right now here before you leave the stream. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit that share button if you're feeling courteous. Share it off to Discord or off to Facebook or Twitter and share it and show it to the world here this evening with all the amazing racing that we saw here tonight in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. And if you haven't already, make sure you become part of the Peacemaker family. Hit that follow button if you're watching over on Facebook or Twitch. And if you're watching over on YouTube, man, hit that subscribe button right now. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll be back in action tomorrow night, as we'll be back to battle here tomorrow evening with the Metalheads Truck Series. And we'll see a lot of drivers duking it out, battling and competing for tomorrow night's checker flag here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll catch y'all back here in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, peace and love. And we'll see y'all later. Much love, chat.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, Peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Will to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, box flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Will to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, added flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Will to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, box flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Will to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, added flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Will to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.